Let's face it, conflicts are a natural part of life. Wherever we have people interacting, disagreements are bound to arise. The workplace, with its diverse personalities, high-pressure situations, and constant collaboration, is no exception. In fact, conflicts in the workplace are more common than we might think. These conflicts can range from minor misunderstandings to full-blown disputes. They can involve colleagues, supervisors, or even clients. Regardless of their nature or severity, workplace conflicts can have a significant impact on individuals and the organization as a whole. Unresolved conflicts can lead to decreased productivity, low morale, and a toxic work environment. Before we continue, do us a favor and hit the like button. We appreciate your support. In today's competitive job market, strong communication and interpersonal skills are highly sought after by employers. The ability to effectively navigate conflicts and find mutually acceptable solutions is a valuable asset in any profession. It demonstrates maturity, professionalism, and a commitment to creating a positive and productive work environment. Mastering conflict resolution can significantly enhance your career prospects. It equips you with the skills to handle difficult conversations, build strong relationships, and resolve issues efficiently. These abilities are essential for career advancement, as they demonstrate leadership potential and the capacity to handle challenging situations with tact and diplomacy. Moreover, by fostering a culture of open communication and respect, effective conflict resolution contributes to a more positive and harmonious work environment. When employees feel heard and respected, they're more likely to be engaged, motivated, and productive. This, in turn, leads to increased job satisfaction, reduced stress levels, and a more positive organizational culture overall. Workplace conflict, a common occurrence in any organization, arises when disagreements, differences, or disputes emerge between individuals or groups within a professional setting. It's essentially a clash of perspectives, priorities, or working styles that can manifest in various ways, from minor disagreements to major disputes. While the term conflict often carries a negative connotation, it's important to remember that conflict itself is not inherently bad. In fact, when managed constructively, conflict can lead to positive outcomes such as innovation, improved communication, and stronger relationships. However, when left unaddressed or handled poorly, conflict can escalate and create a toxic work environment. This can lead to decreased productivity, low morale, increased stress levels, and a decline in overall job satisfaction. Therefore, it's crucial to understand the nature of workplace conflict, its causes, and its potential impact to effectively navigate and resolve disagreements in a healthy and productive manner. Understanding the root causes of workplace conflict is essential for effective conflict resolution. By identifying the underlying issues that contribute to disagreements, we can begin to address them proactively and prevent conflicts from escalating. One of the most common causes of conflict is miscommunication. This can occur due to various factors such as unclear expectations, poor listening skills, language barriers, or the use of jargon. When individuals fail to communicate effectively, misunderstandings can easily arise, leading to frustration, resentment, and conflict. Differing values, beliefs, and working styles can also contribute to conflict. In today's diverse workplaces, it's common for individuals to have different perspectives and approaches to work. While this diversity can be a strength, it can also lead to clashes if not managed effectively. For instance, a team member who values efficiency and speed might clash with a colleague who prioritizes thoroughness and attention to detail. Competition for resources, recognition, or career advancement can also fuel conflict. When individuals or teams feel that their needs are not being met or that they are being treated unfairly, it can create tension and animosity. This is particularly common in high-pressure environments where resources are limited and the stakes are high. Section 3. The ripple effect. Impact of unresolved conflict. Unresolved conflict can have a significant and far-reaching impact on individuals, teams, and the organization as a whole. It's like a virus that spreads negativity, erodes trust, and undermines productivity. One of the most immediate and noticeable effects of unresolved conflict is decreased productivity. When individuals are preoccupied with disagreements or interpersonal tensions, they are less likely to focus on their work. This can lead to missed deadlines, decreased quality of work, and a general decline in efficiency. Moreover, unresolved conflict can create a hostile and uncomfortable work environment, leading to increased stress levels, anxiety, and burnout among employees. Furthermore, unresolved conflict can damage relationships and erode trust among colleagues. When individuals feel hurt, disrespected, or misunderstood, it can create resentment and animosity, making it difficult to collaborate effectively. This breakdown in communication and trust can hinder teamwork and create a toxic atmosphere where gossip, negativity, and backstabbing thrive. On an organizational level, an unresolved conflict can lead to increased absenteeism, high turnover rates, and a decline in employee morale. It can also damage the company's reputation, making it difficult to attract and retain top talent. In extreme cases, unresolved conflict can even lead to legal disputes, grievances, or lawsuits, resulting in significant financial and reputational damage to the organization. Section 1. Navigating interpersonal conflicts. Interpersonal conflicts, often stemming from differences in personalities, communication styles, or personal values, are a common occurrence in any workplace. These conflicts can arise between colleagues at the same level, supervisors and subordinates, or even between employees and clients or customers. Imagine a scenario where two colleagues, Sarah, who thrives on structure and detailed planning, is partnered with John, who prefers a more flexible and spontaneous approach. Their contrasting work styles can lead to friction and disagreements, particularly if they don't communicate effectively or acknowledge each other's preferred methods. Another common example is a clash of personalities. Perhaps one colleague is naturally outgoing and talkative, while the other is more introverted and reserved. These differences in communication styles can lead to misunderstandings. The outgoing colleague might perceive the introverted one as unfriendly or unapproachable, while the introverted colleague might find the other's constant chatter overwhelming or intrusive. Interpersonal conflicts can also arise from differences in personal values or beliefs. For instance, a disagreement might occur between two colleagues who have strong opposing views on a particular social or political issue. While it's important to respect differing viewpoints, these differences can create tension, especially if they spill over into the workplace or impact professional interactions. Section 2. Task-based conflicts. When priorities collide, task-based conflicts emerge from disagreements about work-related issues such as project goals, deadlines, processes, or the allocation of resources. These conflicts are often rooted in differing perspectives on how to best achieve a particular objective or complete a task efficiently and effectively. Imagine a team working on a new marketing campaign. The creative team, focused on innovation and pushing boundaries, might propose a bold and unconventional approach. However, the marketing analytics team more data-driven and risk-averse, might prefer a more traditional and tested strategy. This difference in priorities and approaches can lead to a task-based conflict. Another common source of task-based conflict is the allocation of resources. In many organizations, resources such as budget, time, and personnel are limited. When teams or departments have to compete for these resources, it can create tension and conflict, especially if individuals feel that their needs are not being met or that decisions about resource allocation are unfair. Task-based conflicts can also arise from differing interpretations of roles and responsibilities. For instance, a conflict might occur if there is confusion or disagreement about who is responsible for a particular aspect of a project or who has the authority to make certain decisions. This lack of clarity can lead to duplicated efforts, missed deadlines, and frustration among team members. Section 3. Beyond the individual role-based and interdepartmental conflicts. Moving beyond conflicts between individuals, we encounter conflicts that stem from the very structure and dynamics of an organization. Role-based conflicts arise from confusion or disagreements about specific roles, responsibilities, and reporting structures within a team or department. Imagine a newly promoted team leader, eager to establish their authority, starts micromanaging their team's work, creating friction with team members who were accustomed to more autonomy under the previous leadership style. This shift in dynamics and expectations can lead to a role-based conflict. Interdepartmental conflicts, as the name suggests, occur between different departments or teams within an organization. These conflicts often stem from competing priorities, goals, or resource constraints. For instance, the sales team focused on driving revenue might clash with the production team who are working to streamline operations and reduce costs. The sales team might want to offer customized products to secure a large deal, which could create logistical challenges and delays for the production team. Another example is a conflict between the marketing department, responsible for promoting the company's products or services, and the customer service department, tasked with handling customer inquiries and complaints. The marketing team might launch a new product or campaign without fully informing the customer service team, leading to customer frustration and complaints that the customer service team is ill-equipped to handle. Section 1. Active listening, the foundation of understanding. In the realm of conflict resolution, active listening stands as a cornerstone, a skill that forms the bedrock of understanding and empathy. It's not merely about hearing the words spoken, but about truly absorbing the message, both verbal and nonverbal, that the other person is conveying. Active listening involves paying undivided attention to the speaker, creating a safe space for them to express their thoughts and feelings without interruption or judgment. It means putting aside your own biases and assumptions and truly seeking to understand the other person's perspective, even if you don't agree with it. To be an active listener, focus on the speaker's words, tone of voice, and body language. Observe their facial expressions, gestures, and posture, as these nonverbal cues can provide valuable insights into their emotional state and the underlying message they are trying to convey. As you listen, use verbal cues to demonstrate your engagement and understanding. Nod your head, maintain eye contact, and use phrases like, "I see," "tell me more," or "I understand" to show that you are actively listening and encouraging them to share their perspective. Section 2. Empathy, bridging the gap in conflict. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, serves as a bridge in conflict resolution. connecting individuals on a deeper emotional level and fostering compassion and understanding. It's about stepping into the other person's shoes, seeing the situation from their perspective, and acknowledging the validity of their feelings, even if you don't necessarily agree with their actions or reactions. When we approach conflict with empathy, we move beyond the adversarial dynamic of us versus them and create a space for connection and collaboration. It allows us to recognize that everyone involved in a conflict is experiencing it through their own unique lens, shaped by their individual experiences, values, and beliefs. To practice empathy and conflict resolution, start by acknowledging the other person's feelings. Use phrases like, "I understand that you're feeling frustrated," or "It sounds like this situation is really stressful for you." By simply acknowledging their emotions, you validate their experience and create a sense of being heard and understood. Remember that empathy doesn't require you to agree with the other person's perspective or condone their actions. It simply means recognizing and acknowledging their feelings as valid. This can be particularly challenging when we feel hurt, angry, or wronged by the other person's actions. However, it is precisely in these moments that empathy is most crucial for bridging the gap and finding a path towards resolution. Section 3. Assertive communication. Expressing needs and boundaries. Assertive communication serves as a vital tool in conflict resolution, enabling individuals to express their needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully, while also acknowledging and respecting the needs and perspectives of others. It strikes a balance between passive communication, where individuals may suppress their own needs to avoid conflict, and aggressive communication, which can escalate conflict and damage relationships. When we communicate assertively, we advocate for ourselves without resorting to aggression or manipulation. We express our thoughts, feelings, and needs directly and honestly, using I statements to take ownership of our experience. For instance, instead of saying "you're always late," an assertive communicator might say, "I feel disrespected when you're late for our meetings." Assertive communication also involves setting clear boundaries. This means communicating what you are and are not willing to tolerate in a respectful and firm manner. For example, you might say, "I'm happy to help with this project, but I have a deadline for another task, so I can only dedicate 2 hours to it today." By setting clear boundaries, you protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being, while also preventing misunderstandings and resentment. Remember that assertive communication is not about being demanding or controlling. It's about finding a balance between respecting your own needs and respecting the needs of others. Section 4. Nonverbal communication. The unspoken language of conflict. While words carry weight, nonverbal communication, often subtle and unconscious, speaks volumes in conflict situations. It encompasses a wide range of cues, including body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, eye contact, and even physical space. These nonverbal signals can either escalate or de-escalate conflict, depending on how they are perceived and interpreted. Imagine a scenario where two colleagues are discussing a disagreement. One colleague, arms crossed and face tense, avoids eye contact while the other speaks. This defensive posture sends a clear message of resistance and hostility, likely hindering open communication and escalating the conflict. On the other hand, if the same colleague maintains open body language, leaning slightly forward, making eye contact, and nodding in understanding, it conveys a message of respect, engagement, and a willingness to listen. This can help de-escalate the conflict and create a more conducive environment for dialogue and resolution. Paying attention to your own nonverbal cues is equally important. Are you mirroring the other person's defensive posture, or are you consciously maintaining open and receptive body language? Are you speaking in a calm and measured tone, or are you raising your voice and interrupting? Being mindful of your own nonverbal communication can help you avoid inadvertently escalating the conflict. Section 1. Identifying the issue. The starting point of resolution. The first step in effectively resolving any conflict is to clearly identify the issue at hand. This might seem obvious, but often conflicts become muddled and escalate because the involved parties haven't taken the time to pinpoint the root cause of the disagreement. Begin by clearly defining the problem. What specific issue is causing the conflict? Is it a difference in opinion, a miscommunication, a clash of personalities, or a competition for resources? Avoid making assumptions or jumping to conclusions. Instead, encourage open and honest communication to ensure that everyone involved has a shared understanding of the problem. Once the issue is identified, it's important to identify the parties involved. Who is directly affected by the conflict? Who has a stake in finding a resolution? Identifying all stakeholders ensures that everyone's perspective is considered and that the resolution process is fair and inclusive. Identifying the issue also involves gathering all relevant information related to the conflict. This might include emails, project plans, performance reviews, or any other documentation that can provide context and clarity. Ensure that all parties have access to the same information to avoid misunderstandings or accusations of bias. Section 2. Open dialogue. Fostering understanding and collaboration. With the issue clearly identified, the next step is to create a safe and respectful space for open dialogue. This means establishing ground rules for communication, such as active listening, speaking respectfully, and avoiding personal attacks. Encourage all parties to share their perspectives, thoughts, and feelings openly and honestly. Remember that everyone experiences conflict differently, and there are always multiple sides to every story. As individuals share their perspectives, actively listen to understand their point of view, even if you don't agree with it. Use empathetic listening techniques to acknowledge and validate their feelings. Paraphrase what you've heard to ensure understanding and demonstrate that you are actively listening. Avoid interrupting or dismissing their feelings, even if you don't agree with them. Remember that the goal of open dialogue is not to prove who is right or wrong, but to foster understanding and create a foundation for collaboration. It's about creating a safe space for individuals to feel heard, respected, and valued, even in the midst of disagreement. Section 3. Finding common ground. Exploring solutions and reaching agreements. Once all parties have had an opportunity to share their perspectives, shift the focus to finding common ground and exploring potential solutions. Brainstorming can be an effective tool in this stage, as it encourages creativity and collaboration. Encourage all parties to come to the table with potential solutions. Don't judge or dismiss any ideas, even if they seem unrealistic at first. The goal is to generate as many options as possible, as this increases the likelihood of finding a solution that works for everyone involved. As you explore potential solutions, evaluate their feasibility and potential impact. Consider the pros and cons of each option and how it might affect each party involved. Be willing to compromise and find creative solutions that address the underlying needs and interests of all stakeholders. Once a potential solution has been identified, clearly outline the steps involved in implementing it. Who is responsible for each step? What are the deadlines? How will progress be tracked and communicated? Having a clear plan in place ensures that everyone is on the same page and that the resolution process is transparent and accountable. Section 1. Recognizing cultural differences and conflict. In today's increasingly globalized workplace, it's crucial to approach conflict resolution with cultural sensitivity. Cultural differences can significantly influence how individuals perceive conflict, communicate their perspectives, and respond to conflict resolution strategies. What might be considered direct and assertive communication in one culture could be perceived as rude or aggressive in another. Similarly, certain gestures or expressions that are commonplace in one culture might be considered offensive or disrespectful in another. For instance, in some cultures, maintaining harmony and avoiding direct confrontation is highly valued. Individuals from these cultures might be more comfortable with indirect communication styles, such as using metaphors or hinting at issues rather than addressing them directly. Attempting to impose a direct and confrontational approach in such contexts could be counterproductive, leading to misunderstandings and increased tension. On the other hand, in cultures that value directness and assertiveness, individuals might perceive indirect communication as evasive or dishonest. They might appreciate clear and concise language, even if it means addressing sensitive issues head-on. Failing to adapt to these communication styles could lead to frustration and a perception that the other party is not being transparent or genuine. Effective cross-cultural communication is essential for navigating conflicts in diverse workplaces. When interacting with colleagues from different cultural backgrounds, it's crucial to be mindful of your communication style and to adapt it as needed to ensure understanding and respect. One important aspect of adapting your communication style is being mindful of your language. Avoid using slang, jargon, or idioms that might not be familiar to those from other cultures. Speak clearly and at a moderate pace, allowing time for interpretation and clarification. Nonverbal communication is equally important, if not more so, than verbal communication in cross-cultural contexts. Be aware of your body language, facial expressions, and gestures, as these can convey different meanings across cultures. For instance, direct eye contact, while considered a sign of respect and attentiveness in many Western cultures, might be perceived as confrontational or disrespectful in some Asian cultures. When in doubt, observe how your colleagues from different cultural backgrounds communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. Ask clarifying questions to ensure understanding and avoid making assumptions. By being observant and adaptable, you can bridge cultural differences and create a more inclusive and respectful communication environment. At the heart of culturally sensitive conflict resolution lies respect for diversity and a commitment to continuous learning. It's about recognizing that everyone brings their own unique experiences, perspectives, and cultural values to the workplace, and that these differences should be respected and valued. Avoid making assumptions or stereotypes based on someone's cultural background. Treat everyone as individuals and be open to learning about their cultural norms and communication styles. Ask questions respectfully and be willing to admit when you don't understand something. Continuous learning is essential for expanding your cultural competence and navigating the complexities of cross-cultural conflict resolution. Attend workshops or training sessions on cultural diversity and inclusion. Read books or articles about different cultures and their communication styles. Engage in open and respectful conversations with colleagues from different backgrounds. and be open to learning from their experiences. The more you learn about different cultures, the better equipped you'll be to navigate conflicts sensitively and effectively. As we conclude this exploration of conflict and complaints in the workplace, it's essential to recognize that mastering conflict resolution is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. It's a continuous process of learning, self-reflection, and refining our communication and interpersonal skills. Every conflict, every disagreement presents a valuable opportunity for growth and development, both personally and professionally. By embracing the strategies and insights shared in this presentation, we equip ourselves with the tools to navigate the inevitable challenges of working with others. From active listening and empathy to assertive communication and cultural sensitivity, each skill we cultivate contributes to our ability to foster a more harmonious and productive work environment. Remember that conflict itself is not the enemy. In fact, when approached constructively, conflict can spark innovation, strengthen relationships, and lead to positive change. The key lies in our ability to approach conflict with a positive mindset, a willingness to listen and understand, and a commitment to finding mutually acceptable solutions. Building a workplace culture where open communication, respect, and empathy are valued is paramount. When individuals feel safe expressing their perspectives, concerns, and ideas without fear of judgment or reprisal, it creates a foundation for trust and collaboration. Encourage open dialogue, active listening, and constructive feedback within teams and across departments. Provide opportunities for individuals to develop their communication and conflict resolution skills through workshops, training programs, and mentoring. Celebrate diversity and foster an inclusive environment where individuals from all backgrounds feel valued and respected. Recognize and address any cultural biases or stereotypes that may exist within the organization, and create opportunities for cross-cultural understanding and collaboration. By fostering a culture where open communication and respect are woven into the fabric of the workplace, we create an environment where conflicts can be addressed constructively, relationships can thrive, and individuals can reach their full potential. Remember, building a positive and productive work environment is an ongoing collaborative effort, and each one of us plays a vital role in shaping the culture we want to create. If you have found this session valuable, please hit the like button, share with a friend, and use the notification bell to be alerted when new content is available.